Hey guys, it's your boy 14 Fluffies here, today bringing you discussion on the card Night Dragolich. I know that both CMO and Mega Capital G have both done discussions regarding this card, so yeah, I'm not sure why I'm doing it. Probably just because, I have, fucking 2 copies of the damn thing and that I pull out of my Megatins. I'm probably, and I have that in a video. I'm probably going to link it in the description if I'm feeling like it. So yeah, let's get on to discussing the card itself. Night Dragolich is a Dark Attribute level 4 Worm Effect type monster. And its effect reads, change all non-worm type attack position monsters that were special summoned from the main or extra deck to defense position. All non-worm type monsters that were special summoned from the main or extra deck lose defense equal to their original defense. So, yeah. This card, I mean, when I looked at it for face value, I didn't really think much of it, but ever since I saw Simo's video for this card in his weekly series called Tech Tuesday, oh god, I'm going to be name dropping. This is going to be really odd, so I'm probably going to have to end up linking their videos in the description, just because I'm not taking credit for this card at all. I mean, realistically, I credit Simo for me even taking a second look at this thing. So yeah, so let's discuss its advantages and disadvantages. First, Night Dragolich, based on its effect, this card isn't out to every single extra deck monster I can even think of right now. This card can out cards like, I don't know, this, not necessarily this, because they can just bottomless it from deck. Nat Beast. Hell, this thing could even out Shockmaster since it's not even an activating effect, so yeah, this card can get around things with built-in negations, Logia Dolka, Cyber Dragon Infinity. It can get around Dark Law because it can just change Dark Law to defense mode, make its defense 0, attack over it. Same thing with Rafflesia if, they don't have Bottomless in deck or if they still have a Live Treacherous. This card isn't out to every single extra deck monster in the game currently. And because it can out extra deck all extra deck monsters, this card can really slow down Pendulum decks or any really fast-paced XC spam deck. Basically, this card can stop a whole This card can pretty much shut down a whole Pendulum summon by just switching everything to defense mode and making its defense 0. So, yeah, and even though, yes, the person can still XC or Synchro or Fuse with the monsters they Pendulum summoned, they're not going to be able to do anything with the monsters they're bringing out regardless. And another thing about the card itself is that it is a level 4, so that means you can summon it out with cards like Summoner Monk. And since it has 0 defense, it also opens up for plays with Mass Chameleon, which is interesting, yeah. I mean, if this somehow dies and you have a Mass Chameleon, you can use Mass Chameleon, summon this card out, and then you can just make an Omega or a Scarlight or any level 8 Synchro or any rank 4 XC. So yeah, it has there are other cards that could potentially support its use, and not to mention since it's a worm, this card is incredible if you're assigning it in Yangzing, since it doesn't stop any of your synchros, and it would only effectively stop your opponent's plays. But as far as the card's disadvantages, though, this card is really only practical in slow-paced decks. I mean, this card doesn't really, since this card is a worm, it clashes with a lot of popular floodgates right now, like Rivalry of Warlords, and since it kind of is a dark, there aren't very many good, primarily dark attributed decks besides Burning Abyss, but this card, let's just be honest, would probably be terrible in Burning Abyss, so this card would, if you're playing cards like Gozen Match, this card would also horribly clash with that as well. And really, only slower-paced decks can play it. I mean, Yangzing, this card has the best application in Yangzing since, of course, it is a worm. Another thing is that it does affect both players' monsters, but like I said, if you're playing this deck, if you're playing this card in your side deck, chances are it won't affect you nearly as much. So yeah, there's that. I mean, chances are if you're playing this, you're gonna know how to play around it and know how to use it to its best advantage. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it doesn't really stop the monster's effects, which is my biggest problem. I mean, sure, monsters special from normal or extra decks are switched to defense mode and have their defenses zeroed out, but they can still activate their effects though, which means that the Pepe player, for example, can still have their sorcerer trigger it and then still go off. I mean, obviously you can't expect this card to be a lose one turn on crack. I mean, that's just much, but I don't know. I mean, this card could have been a lot better if it could have just stopped effects on field or in graveyard, either or. But yeah, I take it for what it is now that I'm taking another look at it. It's pretty good. It's just that it has a niche application for a very specific deck. I mean, I think decks like Gravekeepers could utilize it, just because if you're playing Gravekeepers, you can just drop your rivalries for Gozen match. And yeah, it's definitely a card for slower paced decks. I mean, I wouldn't cite it for heroes or anything, but eventually there might be a deck I would cite this in. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.